Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeff here from Full Send Collectibles. Hope everyone is doing well. We have another video today to update you on the 1991 Fleer basketball set. We are going to rip a box momentarily. Um, I am a big fan of the set for a number of reasons, which I will get into in a minute. If you haven't checked out my other videos though yet, check me out at Full Send Collectibles on YouTube. You can also check out Full Send Collectibles on Instagram to check out all the cards that I've been posting. And feel free to like this video if you like ripping into old boxes. So like I said, today we're going to open a 1991 Fleer. We're actually going to open the update series. So 91 Fleer is a 400 card set, originally released in the base 1991 box, cards 1 through 240. The original cards are in wax packs. So a lot of these boxes that you'll find, they won't have seals on them. They are wax packs. So it's pretty easy to tell if these packs have been searched or not. But be a little more weary if you're buying the lower numbers. The advantage of the lower numbers is it's only 1 through 240 cards, and there's the base Jordan in there, as well as the league leaders Jordan. So there's a ton of Jordans you can pull out. And the reason I love to open these sets is an insert that is one of my favorites of all time called Pro Visions. So in these boxes, in Fleer since 91, whether you're looking at baseball, basketball, football, some of the most iconic inserts of the era, in my opinion, are the Provisions. Charles Barkley in this set. There's actually six of them. Barkley, Jordan, Robinson. You've got Magic Johnson. You've got the mailman himself, Karl Malone. And the really cool thing about these is well, I'll show you in a minute that if you're trying to open Jordans and turn them into tens, it can be a little tricky. The Provisions themselves are not that hard. They're white border on the front, white border on the back. So as long as you open a card, it's easy to tell if they're centered. So as long as you open a card that's nicely centered, it's easy to see if the corners are dinged up. I've had a ton of success, even with PSAs. In my opinion, newer and more stringent kind of standards and grading. Have had a ton of success with sending in the Provisions that look centered with nice corners and getting it back at 10. Me in my hand, I'm holding two Jordans, two Robinsons, which are worth the Jordans are worth about 150 each. Robinson's about 125. That Barkley's worth about 100. Um, and again, just really cool cards. These are my personal collection. I just love to have them slabbed up. Now, for the bad news, the rest of the cards with the blue front and the court colored logo, if you or background, those are a lot tougher to 10 for a number of reasons. One, you can easily get kind of a little bit of whitening out of the pack when you open these with the blue edges on the front and the tan edges on the back. Second reason, and maybe the main reason, is that they're really, unless you've done this a lot and if you've trained your eye and you know what to look for, these are really tough to center. So I do have this Jordan League Leaders that is a 10. It's really nicely centered on the front, nicely centered on the back. It's because there's only one blue section with a border and no border here. It's really tough to center or tell if it's centered from side to side. I'm not even confident the folks at PSA know it. You might get someone who doesn't necessarily know how to grade them. The bottom and the top are a little bit easier. There's a pretty clear border on the bottom and the top. So you take a look at those. These base Jordans, for example, I sent these in. They're off center from bottom to top. And they come back, anything that's off center comes back as an 8, even if everything else is mint. So once you train your eye for that, it's a little bit easier to tell. But I would say it's a little bit tougher to get tens out of these. Now, in the update series, which also has the Pro Visions, you also get the All Star Team Jordans, which is a really cool card. You got his face right there, front and center. This one came back at a 9. You've got your team leader Jordans doing a J. Came back as a 9. And of course, the league leaders, that's in the low series as well. So great boxes to open because there are a ton of Jordans, and again, like for me, the Pro Visions are one of the premier, like my favorite inserts in any of these. I'll be opening some baseball and chasing Provisions. I'll be opening some football and chasing Provisions. And I am of the opinion that there is a little bit of value to be had there. Now, these boxes have crept up. When I was buying these boxes, I bought a ton of them, generally in the $50 to $60 range. You can still find some of them for that, especially the low series, which you often won't find factory sealed, um, and again are in wax packs, so you have to be a little more leery of that. The higher series comes factory sealed with the Fleer logo, and we also have cello packs. So uh, now they're not like foil like the upper deck packs. They do have, um, you know, they're heat sealed on the back, but for all intents and purposes, these are not really searchable or resealable, so you don't have to worry about that for any dickheads out there that are trying to do that. In both cases, actually, you can, and what I like to do, I actually may have a few in here. Nah, I don't know where I put them. But again, if you've seen a couple of my other videos, I like to look through the front and the back of the pack because they are translucent, whether you're looking at the wax packs or whether you're looking at the cello packs. Now, if you find a Jordan on the front of the pack, a Pro Vision on the front of the pack, those are really cool to submit to PSA because right on the slab it'll say 91 Fleer. It'll grade the pack, so a lot of these are coming out of the boxes tens if they're not too beat up, and it'll say Michael Jordan Pro Visions right on the front. So that's actually worth a decent amount of money. People do pay up for sealed packs, and so while I won't do it in this video, um, I won't be checking every single one for a Jordan on the front. That is kind of in my opinion, a fun and cool thing to do too, especially for your personal collection, or if you're trying to squeeze every ounce of value out of these boxes that you can. So we'll rip a box and a half. I actually had this this box of update series laying around. So we'll rip that, and then we'll rip into the second one as well. Um, Other inserts on the update series are all of the rookies and trades, new team leader subset, which I pointed out, and then in a maroon card, interesting, they have the Dikembe Mutombo rookie and the Dominique Wilkins rookie as well. So actually, you can kind of see it right there on the box. So reddish maroon color. Um, Mutombo's awesome. Fun inserts there. So basically, we're looking for base Jordans. We're looking for Pro Visions that are nicely centered, um, and we can have a ton of fun with the rip. Now, again, this added cards 241 through 400 to the set. Um, and so it's a 400 card set. Fits nicely in one of those bigger binders if you want to collect the whole set. Um, to be honest with you, I don't find the cards themselves all that appealing. This is one of my least favorite sets from the era, but I do open them because I love chasing the Provisions, and the base Jordan in a 10, I believe, is worth $250 still, give or take. So any base Jordan in a 10 is going to be worth a bunch of money. And then there's David Robinson. And then, of course, um, this is one of those sets that has just a ton of different inserts. So, as I always say, because I'm opening these with my kids, they're always bugging me to open packs. When I toss them one of these, they have pretty good odds of opening a Jordan or an All-Star or some sort of insert. And, if that's of interest to you, it's makes it a little more fun as well. Okay, so I didn't mention these in the opening. I'll talk about that in a second. All right, so you have your team leader, Chuck Person. You have your team leader, Chris Mullin. Kenny Smith on the slam dunk insert. So you also have these 1991 All-Star Game inserts. There's two of them that feature Jordan really front and center. Actually, if you were interested in getting those graded, they're like 50, 60 bucks at a 10. This one has a whole bunch of All-Stars on it. Jordan's on the left, being boxed out by Magic. We got David Robinson right in the middle, being boxed out by Ewing, and I believe that's Mutombo on the right. So, pretty cool cards as well. See a lot of those. A couple of them. There's one with a Jordan right on the bench. Card is called like Adversaries or something. I forget what it is. So we'll rip through these. We got Patrick Ewing, All-Star there. I like the cellos a lot more than the wax packs, but if you go for the low series with the wax packs, you definitely have better chances to pull more of those base Jordans. But we should see a good amount of base Jordans in these cards. There's Billy Owens, my boy from Cuse. So there's Dikembe Mutombo rookie, as well as we will see the limited edition rookie as well. Wow, absolutely nothing in that pack, which is interesting. It's very rare that you open a pack that you don't get your blood pumping a little bit by a card in there, even if it's like something dumb like a Chris Mullin team leader. Stockton All-Star, Stacey Augmon, Pat Riley. We are going to pile up these cards today, boys. Terrell Brandon, Alvin Robinson, Scott Williams, Stacey King, Larry Brown, Mike Brown. This one's cool. All right, so this is the one I was talking about. It's called Enemies, a Love Story. You've got Jordan on the bench next to Ewing, Barkley, all the dudes. It's a nice card. I have a couple of those looking really, really good, sitting potentially to be sent to be graded. I don't know if I will or not, but that's another one that's a little bit tough to find a 10 in just because you can't really tell if they're centered that well from the two blue edges, just because the one blue edge doesn't have a border. Um, so given that they're, worth like 40 or 50 in a 10, unless you really like them for your personal collection, you're really rolling the dice. Team leader Malone, team leader Hakeem Olajuwon. We got a Joe Dumars in there. Team leader James Worthy, Alvin Robertson, Brad Daugherty, Dikembe Mutombo, 4 in a row on the team leaders. Kurt Rambis. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I think he's the man. I don't even know what he's done in basketball. I just think his cards look cool. I like his glasses. Just people sometimes where you're like, man, I just want to talk to that guy. All right, so we've got our first rookie insert, Dominique Wilkins, limited edition, numbered to 50 million, I'm sure. Drazen Petrovic, Isaiah Thomas. I mean, look that Drazen up. I'm sure it's not worth much, but there's some. You got your Petrovic fans out there. Just really had a kind of an immeasurable impact on the NBA as far as access to more countries than the US and A. Come on, man. Shit. In fact, I don't want to open. Kenny Anderson, Lionel, Kevin Johnson, Kembe Mutombo rookie, Larry Bird. That's a nice one. Sent in one of those birds actually. He's 60, 70 bucks out of 10. Mine got a 9. If you're going to send in a card, you better be sure you're at least breaking even on the 9s. God forbid you get an 8, which I did on all those Jordans. Mitch Richmond. There's another Dominique Wilkins. So there's that version, rebounding. There's that version, dribbling. I'm not sure how many versions there are. Maybe we'll find out. We're certainly opening enough packs here today. Larry Johnson, my boy. That's a cool All-Star Game one. That is, I think that's Rodman rebounding, Showtime. Maybe that's Alvin Robertson dunking. Phil Jackson, coach. Tim Hardaway. Nothing wrong with pulling Phil Jackson's. Jason Williams, Chris Mullin, Chuck Person, Dominique Wilkins, rookie team leader Rex Chapman, and Bill Cartwright. Mark Macon, team leader Charles Smith, team leader Glenn Rice, Derek Harper, Manute Bull, Bull or Bull? Bull. Scott Skiles for the Magic, Derek Coleman, Gary Payton. Not sure if he was in the previous Fleer set. Is that his rookie? 82 games. Mitch Richmond. There's a Mutombo. So that's a version of him boxing out. Pretty sweet card. Not really worth anything. But again, cool insert nevertheless. Haven't hit a Pro Visions yet. Danny Ferry, I think that's a rookie. Larry Bird, team leader, that's a nice one. Rex Chapman, slam dunk. Doc Rivers, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley. Nothing except a fat lever. Buck Johnson. All right, there's a red. Let's see what we got. All right, so there's the different Mutombo. Boxing out. Pretty sweet. Anthony Mason, for all you Knick fans out there. Before every one of their team was a Villanova alum. Charles Barkley, All-Star. Scott Skiles, Ricky Pierce, team leader. Team leader Michael Adams, Derek Coleman, Scott Skiles. Our first Jordan, and this is the open box. I'm not sure how many Jordans I've already opened. This is a sweet one. Got his face front and center. He's driving All-Star team. I can tell you that that is not centered left to right or top to bottom, so it's not a 10. But I will take, of course, Mitch Richmond right there. Any Jordan I can get. And as I'm opening these, because it doesn't say Pro Visions on the side of this, but I'm like, I'm 99% sure we have Pro Visions in these, but I guess we'll see in the next box. If they are, we will get about 4 of them. So I'm actually second guessing myself because we haven't opened one yet. And if we haven't, I'm going to encourage you all to stick to the Series 1 boxes because the Pro Visions are where you get your 10s. They're the cool insert. And this is where you get all your base Jordans, which if you get a 10 is you know, cash those in. Dominique Wilkins. If you're ripping these and you want help sizing them up, if you're sending them into PSA 10, just excuse me, just hit me up on here. Send me a text, send me an email with a picture of your card. I've looked at enough of these where I think if I'm submitting them at this point, Alvin Robertson, James Worthy, Dikembe Mutombo, Brad Doherty. If I'm submitting them at this point, we're gonna be damn sure we're getting them back as a 9 or a 10. All right. So that was the bonus miscellaneous box that I had laying around, which we opened. I'm not sure why we didn't find Provisions in there. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually wondering if they're only in the Series 1, although I could have sworn it was in the update series as well. Anyway, we opened like a half a box. We got a stack of sweet cards. The one Michael Jordan All-Star is really light in terms of Jordans you can open. So let's see how we do in this box. Again, fully sealed. No need to worry about shenanigans. Packs are cellos, which again is extra protection. Even if you're buying like loose packs, cellos are a little bit of extra protection. So normally I would look through these and take a look at the front, see if I got any Michael Jordans. Take a look at the back, which is visible too. You can usually see right through the basketball. Yeah, so we'll start with this pack. I can tell you that the top card here is Dana Barros. Just really easy to see through the letters. So just to prove my point, let's rip you. And voila, Dana Barros. Mike Dunleavy, coach. Don Chaney. All right. Let's get ripping. Full box, brand new. And again, I won't waste your time looking at the fronts because it takes a minute. But if you're just sitting on a conference call like most of us that work from home these days, grab a stack of packs, look at the fronts, make sure there's no Jordans on there. And otherwise, if it is a Jordan, just please send it into PSA because that's cool. All right, see how we do. Karl Malone, Charles Smith, team leader, Glenn Rice, team leader. Let's get Michael smiling at us for good luck. Maurice Cheeks, Kurt Rambis. There's another Dana Barros. Chris Mullin. I mean, Chris Mullin's okay, but that's a pretty cool card. He's right in your face. He's right at the rim. Mullin's fine. I'm not going to go talk about Mullin with my buddies. James Worthy, Robertson, Doherty, Mutombo. 4 in a row seems to be the numbers in these. Billy Owens, Mutombo, Larry Bird, and still haven't seen a Jordan base. I swear to you, I had not opened this many boxes, and I probably opened literally on average of 2 per box. Now, I did open a lot of the Series 1, and of course, there's only 240 cards in the set. Alvin Robertson, Mutombo, Brad Doherty, only 3 in a row there. Steve Smith, there's Rambis again. Man, now these cards are like real clumped together. Did anyone shuffle this deck? Rick Fox. Rick Fox has a probably ring or two with the Lakers, right? Kenny Anderson. There's KJ, Lionel, Billy Owens. Man, if I'm Mutombo, I'm a Cuse guy, so even though I'm collecting Billy Owens, this is a few too many Billy Owens for me. Rather be hitting Michael, Mikey, like Mike. There's Spud Webb traded to Sacramento. Chris Mullin, Chuck Person, Dominique, Rex Chapman, team leaders. Oh, so I would have seen this one on the front. I don't know if I would have not opened it, but front card is the Mutombo limited edition. There's Petrovic. Walter Davis. Wasn't he in a movie recently? Steve Kerr. Yeah, Walter Davis. He ran Xenotech in Office Christmas Party. Famously did cocaine and then tried to fly off the second floor. Eric Murdoch, Larry Johnson, Reggie Miller, David Robinson, John Stockton. Woof, that was fire. Tony Campbell, Patrick Ewing. My goodness. Well, I'm not going to open a Jordan. That's a God pack right there. Larry Johnson. Get out of here, Grandmama. Just bought a Larry Johnson 93 Topps Refractor signed, graded on eBay for 40 bucks. I am really pumped to get that card. There's John Starks, Timmy Hardaway. Larry Johnson refractors are real cheap, pretty cheap. He didn't make the Hall of Fame. His game didn't maybe age that well, but he's got NBA Jam, the best team with Morning. He's got the Grandmama. He had a ton of commercials, Nike. Sweet. Jordan team leader. That one I would have stopped the presses and pulled. This one looks really nicely centered. Now that one only is worth, I think, like 50 if it gets a 10, but I will scrutinize that, and there's a chance I send it in because I just think that's a real cool card. 23, right on the back, shooting a jumper. I mean, just how do you beat that? Mark Jackson, Spud Webb, Charles Barkley. It's like he got pushed in the back there. Now they used to not call that. Now they call that all the time. Like all these guys flopping around. You think Chuck ever flopped? No, I don't think so. I don't think Chuck ever flopped once. Find me a video where Chuck flopped. Make me a liar. Ricky Pierce, Derek Coleman, Scott Skiles. Oh yeah, Michael Jordan. Now we're hitting, boys. That one is not a 10. Top to bottom, you can see it's real thin on the top. Sweet card. That's an 8. Mitch Richmond, Dominique, Rod Higgins. Flopping. Flopping's ridiculous. Traveling's out of control too. Traveling is way out of control. Double dribbling. There's Ewing All-Star. Stacey Augmon. He was a little bit of an exciting player. There's Chuck All-Star. Kenny Gaddison of the Hornets fame. Brad Doherty, Rex Chapman, Dominique, Nick Anderson is a pretty cool dude. Lionel Simmons and Kevin Johnson. We're through about half a box. So I'm going to take my words back here because evidently the update series does not have provisions. So that kind of defeats the purpose of opening these because I'm really in it for chasing the provisions, but there's a ton of Jordans available in this. So as most of us are Jordan chasers when we're ripping vintage wax, don't let that lack of provisions deter you. David Robinson, team leader. Ewing, Tony Campbell. Still haven't opened a Jordan base though. There's Mutombo, Tim Hardaway. Phil Jackson, Larry Johnson, John Stockton, team leaders. Paul Graham, Bud Webb, Mitch Richmond, Greg Anthony, followed by John Starks. All right, let's get back into the Jordans here. Dick Motta, Glenn Rice, Michael Jordan, called my shot. Yeah, that's a nice one. So both of those team leader Jordans look very nicely centered. So if they are, and you are trying to grind value, that might be your cost to the box right there after grading fees. Please don't grind value. Please just rip for the love of ripping. For the love of wax, everybody. For the love of wax, just rip. Rip. I want a Jordan base, though. Want that Jordan base. I need a 10 for my PC. 8. Larry Bird, team leader. Doc Rivers, Kendall Gill, Clyde Drexler, team leader, followed by a Chuck, team leader. Anthony Mason. There's the All-Star game with Jordan doing the layup. We got Magic Johnson, looked like he just committed a crime in there. He's got his hands up. Ooh, me? There's Dominique, Hakeem Olajuwon, Joe Dumars, Chris Mullin, All-Star team. Chalk, Clyde, the Glide. Oh, followed by the Clyde base. I don't think we've seen that yet. D. Brown. That man could dunk for real. D. Brown. Pretty exciting player. Get out of here. Joe Dumars, Hack. See, now they changed it. 91-92 going by Hakeem. In the last video, we just opened, I guess it was 90-91, and he was going by Akeem. So, Larry Bird. A lot of Larry Birds in here, which we got a lot of Larry Bird fans out there. So that's good. Anthony Mason, Buck Johnson, Baby Bell. Get out of here. Derek Coleman, team leader. Gary Payton, the glove. Mitch Richmond, nice. Alden Campbell, remember him? Dominique Wilkins, Reggie Miller, league leaders. So here's another one. We've seen almost no league leaders in this high series. These are all over the low series. So you're gonna get like, I don't know, I'm not trying to exaggerate here, but like 2 Jordan league leaders just in the low series in addition to the base Jordans. What you don't get is the team leader, that's card 375, but you do get the All-Star, that's card 211. And the league leaders, those are low, card 226. Mookie Blaylock, Tree Rollins, Michael Adams. Slow rolled me, Michael. Slow rolled me. Michael, you know I'm not a rich man. Kurt Rambis, Sid Green, Chuck Daly, Stacey Augmon hanging from the rim. Come on now, Pack. I'm not trying to bend every corner in the pack, but I am trying to get through this video. I have these scissors handy. Rick Fox, Robertson, Worthy, Mutombo, Doherty, Patrick Ewing. That's like 5 in a row, our new record. 5 players in a row of note. All right, we're down to the last 5 packs. Moses Malone. Jeepers, who are these players? I haven't heard a single one of those motherfuckers. 4 packs to go. Kevin Johnson, Lionel Simmons, Billy Owens again, Dikembe Mutombo. I gotta see what card number this Billy Owens is. 288. So he's in the high. He's in the high numbers. 1 through 240 was the low. Steve Kerr, Chris Mullen, Danny Ferry, Danny Young, Dominique, Rex Chapman, Rex and Effects Chapman. You got your Mutombo limited edition. Limited edition. Let's do some simple edition. Dikembe Mutombo is not the card I want to see. 1 pack left. Let's get a Jordan on here. Last pack. Come on, baby boy. Craig Hodges, card 257. Dominique Wilkins. Larry Johnson. At least we finished strong with my man, Larry Johnson. David Robinson, John Stockton, Tony Campbell, Patrick Ewing, Kevin Johnson, and Blair Rasmussen. So, how'd we do? Well, in a box and a half, we only opened 2 Jordan All-Stars, 2 Jordan League Leaders, 0 Jordan base cards, and 0 Jordan. Um, Shoot, what was that insert that I talked about a little bit earlier? And 0 Jordan, this version of the League Leaders with Reggie Miller. So I opened up by saying I'm open these to chase Provisions, which is one of my favorite inserts, and apparently we do not have Provisions in the high series. So I'm going to give the high series 2 thumbs down. Um, Again, like the only reason I open these cards is Jordan base and Provisions. I love the Provisions. I don't really love the cards in general. And while the high number series has a number of different Jordans that you can get into, I wouldn't recommend opening it. These boxes, I believe, actually sell for a few dollars more than the base. Maybe because they're fully sealed, maybe because they're not wax packs and we don't really trust actual wax packs anymore. But I can tell you I've opened a lot of those low series, usually pull out Provisions, about four per box, 4 or 5, a couple of base Jordans, couple of Jordan League Leaders. So I'll probably do a video of the low series in the not too distant future. But for now, that's the rip on the high series. 2 thumbs down, stay away. All right, until next time, check me out. Full Send Collectibles on Instagram, Full Send Collectibles on YouTube. And if you're sending any of these in and you don't want to get a 7, hit me up. I'll give it a look. I've looked at hundreds of these cards. I think I'm getting pretty good at it. All right, till next time, y'all take care.